Dear Mom, I can't shut my eyes tight enough. I can't stop the tears from falling down my face. I call out and no one will listen. The drunk driving, all the lies, the times you pass out, the slurred words, the things you forget. You're going to have to choose what is more important to you, the alcohol or me. If you won't see how you're hurting yourself, I want you to see how you're hurting me. The day the tears stop falling and the pain goes away will be the day where this problem is gone, or the day when I've given up. Please, I'm begging you, let it be the day the problem is gone. With so much love and hope for the future, your daughter, Kimberly. August 30th, 2009. Growing up, my house was traumatic. My house was not a home. My house was hell. My parents were divorced when I was 2, and I lived in the house with my mom and my older brother. My mom had an addiction issue with alcohol my entire childhood, and as a young kid, it was consuming. It really took everything out of me. I was sad and I was mad, and I exhausted myself with those emotions day in and day out. My mom's addiction blocked me from having a relationship with God, period, except for at the lowest moments where I was so desperate that I just needed to look up to a God that I guess I didn't believe in and just pray and say, help her, and I will literally do anything. The older I got, the more I realized this was never gonna get better. And I never said never, but I was at, a 0.0001% chance that this would ever turn around. So I go to college. I was 17 years old, and she sat my brother and I down, and she told us that she was going to get sober. She got invited to a new church, and that's when she started attending Eagle Brook and the Quest 180 recovery program. I was invited to her medallion night to celebrate 6 months of sobriety, and was able to give her her 6-month medallion, and it was 3 days before my 18th birthday, and it was the ultimate gift I've ever been given. My mom becoming sober could not be explained by anything except for something bigger and greater. There was no way that I could stand there and say that that was her, that that was me. It had to have been something else. There was no way that I could stand there in that moment and deny that there was somebody watching over. So that, I think, creaked open a door a little bit to get me to start a relationship with God. So my mom was continuing on in her sobriety and doing really well and going to church, and I still had a whole bunch of problems, and it turns out that her sobriety was not the only thing standing in my way of living a great life. It occurred to me that 10 years ago, I was sitting there praying to a God that I didn't believe in, that if he helped my mom, I would do anything. But I didn't do anything when she got better. So I was like, Kimberly, you better live up to your word, and you gotta start doing something. I started taking the signs that God was giving me, and I started having conversations with the people that he sent into my life. First of all, I found that this whole time I wasn't alone. I found that God had been waiting for me. I found that I had a whole new life. to walk into whenever I was ready. So last February, I sat in the indoor baptism service, and I'd actually walked in expecting a normal service, and when I saw it was a baptism service, I was a little taken aback, like, I was ready for a great message, but I guess I'll watch people get baptized. I didn't know what I was in for, but I was like, hopefully it doesn't go too long. So I'm sitting there, and everyone starts to get baptized, and something completely took over me, and tears flooded my eyes, and I just watched people's lives change. And one person gets baptized, the next, and the music is playing, and I left feeling God was calling me to really start my journey there at that moment. And I left telling myself that I was going to dedicate the next year to growing in my relationship with God, and so that by the next February, I would be ready to be baptized. In the past year, God has helped me to walk with purpose and faith. He's shown up through my friends and my family. He's shown up every service at church, and one service in particular in September where I accepted him fully in my heart. And since then, I think he's just been preparing me for this day. A day I've been looking forward to and been so excited about. I've waited for a lot of things for other people. So I feel like this one is like for me. Yeah, this one's for me. And it didn't lack work. It didn't come easy. It took a long time, but for this, it's for me. So that's been super exciting and super meaningful. I think for the beginning portion of my life, it was like dragging on, and I thought it would never end. And now I'm so excited to have this relationship forever and get to know him more, and to continue to unpack what he has in store for me here. I feel like I've been chosen to be on this journey with him, and I have the whole rest of my life to see how it's gonna play out with him like by my side. I just think that's awesome.